Hi barbecues, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today, as you can tell by the title, we have a new explosive video. And in today's video, we're diving into some deep topics. Just did a get ready with me on my TikTok account, also talking about a deep topic, and the topic was ugliness. Things like this are prompted based on whatever situations I'm facing in life, and coming on here to share with you all just helps me knowing that I'm helping somebody else that may be facing the same situations or realize the same things in life, or just want somebody to relate to, because I want this video to be as authentic as possible and real. So in this video, we're going to talk about the topic of healing. Mainly healing is what we're going to talk about, right? Firstly, I feel as though a lot of influencers tend to glamorize only the great things. Obviously, you wouldn't glamorize the negative things that happen to you in life, right? But I feel like we aren't real, and it's to the point where it makes, because influencers aren't real, we don't sympathize with the negative things in life. All we show is the happiest of happiest moments, and we say nothing about negative things that may happen. We shy away from sharing negative experiences. And that kind of contributes to many people feeling alone or feeling like if something's wrong with them for going through situations. I feel that way because I don't really see it around me. Granted, I don't have much friends, but I know it cannot just be me. I know that there are other people that may be going through things that I may have been going through as well. I've come onto this platform a couple times to share traumatic experiences, whether it was dealing with a toxic relationship, being treated unfairly. I even made a whole video, do not get ready with me, about all the heartbreaks I ever had, which is so corny to me now, like the video itself, but I know that a lot of y'all appreciated that video and felt like someone else went through the same thing and you can sympathize and that you were not alone. I do have some areas of my life where I need to heal from situations that would have happened to me, which I cannot be transparent with you about, because I don't want to put my personal business on the internet as much as I used to do it before. I would have liked to give you the hot tea or every detail. One time when I posted on TikTok, someone commented and they was like, be careful of what you share on the internet. And I was like, well, what do them, because I accustomed sharing and I do it to help other people, and I don't really care like what people think about me sharing, but it's really to protect your own feelings. People, not everybody that watch your videos or listen to your stories are going to use it for your best. Not everybody's going to sympathize with you. Some people, you can never tell what people are going to do on the internet, and you never know, somebody could use it to throw it back in your face. But it's not something that I'm willing to share at the moment, but I just wanted to come and be transparent and tell you all that I'm in the process of healing from a lot of things that would have happened in my life. Dealing with my situation, what I'm dealing with now, it helps me to reflect on things that I would have done in the past when it is I found myself in a situation where I needed to heal and move on with my life. So, of course, heartbreak can be a contributing factor to someone needing to heal, which is something I have dealt with in the past. But I have learned how important self-security really is in terms of being confident within yourself and being happy within your own self and not looking for it in others. And that includes romantic relationships, friendships, and family relationships as well. I honestly try my best to start spending more time with myself, and this includes being on my YouTube channel. Like, I feel like I'm spending time with myself because really and truly it has nobody around here, and I'm voicing the way I feel, and when I'm editing I'm going to hear all these things and nice advice I'm giving to other people, and the video is going to be there as my diary. So at any time I could just go back and listen to this video and feel like I did that. I'm proud of myself. I love you for doing this, Something I have found to help me healing on the whole is journaling. Journaling the most disgusting and traumatic experiences I've had. And today, I journaled last night. I started a new journal. This is not a proper journal, but it's just a book. And I'm going to read parts of it for you. The parts that are not too exposing as to what I'm going through, right? but I will definitely advise you to start journaling if you don't already. And trust me, it is hard to start journaling because sometimes you don't even want to think about your situation, and writing is like torture because you're going through everything word by word. But what I find is, I find myself, for one, venting to my friends about if I'm feeling down or sad about a situation, whatever it may be. It could be heartbreak, it could be family relationships, it could be financial, whatever it may be, right? We all know, we've heard it all before. Find somebody you could vent to, vent to a friend, whatever the case is. Don't bottle it up on the inside. Firstly, I would like to say, allow yourself to feel your pain. I have come to terms with the fact that we are all human and we all have emotions. And listen, if I'm sad, I am sad. If I need to cry, I am going to cry, and I don't care. And this kind of, for some reason, I started becoming more emotional after a heartbreak that I had in 2019. Which the gag is, I'm so happy that I got out of that relationship. I mean, at the time when the person broke up with me, I was so confused. Like, I didn't even know our relationship had issues, and the person would have broken up with me abruptly, so abruptly that I was totally shocked. And I'm the type of person, I would hide my emotions. So if I feel sad about something personal and I'm around other people, I would just keep it to myself. Like, I'll be like, not let anyone know that I'm feeling down, because of obviously not everybody wants any business, especially if you're not close or you don't trust the person, right? But since that breakup, like, I had a dental appointment right after the breakup, because the breakup happened in the morning time, and then I had a dental appointment to go to. So I was kind of like getting ready to go to my dental appointment, and literally I couldn't stop crying. I was in the maxi, and I was like, this really just happened. Like, I was so sad about the breakup. I was in tears in the maxi. Usually, it was so strange for me because usually I could hold up my tears. Like, I wouldn't let anybody see me crying or know that I'm sad. I would just, put on a smile and deal with that later. Cry when I reach home, that type of thing. But in that moment, for some reason, I was so hurt to the point where I couldn't hold back my tears. I was in the maxi. Thankfully, I was kind of like in the back, and there was nobody like in the side seat next across from me, or nobody that could really see me. But in the moment, I didn't even care if anybody had seen me because I was so sad. And the tears just escaped my eyes without my permission. I feel like if I write in a book, that would be a perfect line for the book though. The tears escaped my eyes without my permission. So from that moment on, I find that like that happens to me. In terms of, I could be around people and then I would end up crying about situations. I mean, I would still try to hide it by just wiping it or like leaving, but I'm just trying to say, like, I lost control of my tears from that moment on, and I'm not sure how or why, but I can't hold back my tears anymore. If I need to cry, I'm going to cry. And also, as I said, I allow myself to feel. If I'm feeling sad, I'm not going to pretend that I'm not sad or distract myself with a bunch of things. I mean, I still do sometimes. Like, if I'm sad about something, I may still try to distract myself about it by doing other things and becoming obsessive with self-improvement, because that is be like my revenge, which is technically not revenge, because I don't think that we should be seeking revenge, but it's like it helps you to feel like it helps you to feel your worth, and it helps you to remember your worth when you focus on self-improvement and bettering yourself in all aspects and glowing up. I had this silly thing in the past when I was a teenager, that after every breakup I would promise myself that I would glow up. Like, I would look better. The next time this person see me, I looking real good, like 10 times better than how I used to look. That was always my goal as a teenager, and now it's more my goal after a breakup is more betterment on the inside, meaning like being able to accept whatever it is that happened and being able to move on whilst being unbothered. That is my goal now. But I would like to read a part of my journal for you. And I also had an idea. I'll tell you the idea afterwards, but I'm only going to read the part that isn't exposing. So I'm going to read the positive part. After all my venting and raving in this journal, I wrote 1, 2, 3 pages last night about a situation that I was going through. On the bright side, I lost nothing. I gave my best and my all because that's all I know. I may not upload this video. So I would encourage everyone to journal. Reason being, when I would vent to my friends about whatever situation I'm facing, here's what happens. It all happens in waves. So I would vent to one friend that I trust, and then I would feel better almost immediately afterwards, right? But then I get more time to process my emotions, and then I realize, but wait, I'm still not okay. So then I go to another friend and I vent because I feel like if I go back to that same friend, I feel like I'll be annoying, and I feel like I'll just be repeating the same thing, which doesn't make sense. I mean, maybe it does, but I find myself in waves of emotions. So I talk to a friend, then I'm good. I talk to myself, then I'm good. I talk to God, then I'm good. But for some reason, the waves just keep going on and on for a while until I'm totally healed. So I want to know if this has happened to any of you all, right? But what I realized is another way to cope with something like that. Firstly, being aware that the waves are going to come and preparing yourself for it. So, seeing that I wrote 3 pages of my traumatic experience, what I did this morning when I was feeling down again, I read it over. And by reading it over, I felt like if I listened to my own self and I was able to be there for my own self and lend a listening ear, because I feel like the more I read my traumatic experience is the more I will get accustomed to it, and the more I get accustomed to it is the more I will accept it, and the more I accept it is the more I will be able to become unbothered by the situation at hand. So that's just my idea on how to deal with a traumatic experience, rather than having to call your same friend 1,000,001 times to talk about the same thing, which I understand could be annoying. So I decided to put my pen to paper and do this, which was hard because for some reason when you write, it's harder than when you talk about the situation. It's easy to gaslight a scenario when you just talk about it in general, but when it's just you, the pen and the paper, it's like, be real, what really went on, how do you really feel, you know? And also when you're talking to other human beings, it's almost as though you have to watch your words at the same time. But when it's just you and this book that you're writing in, you can be as real as you want. You can say the nastiest of things if you have to, you know, and just be real, be for real. So this has helped me a lot, and I think I will continue to journal. And an idea that I had, I was thinking about my future. What if in the future I do end up getting married and having children? Obviously, they would have their own share of heartbreaks and heart-aching moments, whether it be even heartbreak from friendships, because you can also experience a heartbreak from a friendship as well, okay? As well as other traumatic experiences. So I feel like if I want to continue writing my traumatic experiences in a journal, and if I do, hopefully I do have a family in the future, like when my children reach a certain age, I would want to give them the book of my trauma. And I feel like it would help them to understand me better and help us to have a better connection, and also help them with the situations that they... So to end off this video, I just want to leave you with a summary and a few tips, and also myself with a few tips, things that I'm going to do from now, right? As I said, journaling, acknowledging all of your feelings, not bottling it up, not lying to yourself and telling yourself you don't care about whatever situation you're facing, because if it's bothering you, obviously you do care. So I'd say be real with yourself, and I would say get counseling. Counseling is something I think I want to start, because my goal for 2023 is to unravel all avenues of trauma in my life. Dig out all the roots of trauma in my life, whether it stems from childhood, and it could also stem from previous heartbreaks, my history of heartbreaks, as well as my history of bullying. Even though I feel like I've grown so much, thanks to God, because I used to be way more insecure in myself. And me today, and me a couple years ago, would never be able to deal with the situations I'm facing right now if it wasn't for all them things that happened to me, and God helping me become a wiser and smarter person. I think that I today won't have been able to properly deal with the situations I am facing. And I feel like if you don't know how to deal with the situations that you're facing, you could end up making your experience worse. You could end up hurting yourself way more than whatever happened to you has hurt you. So I want to equip myself even more, and I want to deal with all of my childhood trauma. And all avenues of trauma in my life. So I think I want to start counseling. I'm kind of excited about it, but also I have a traumatic counseling experience. So when I went to a certain university, I'm not going to call names because I don't want to bash no school or no counselor. They had a free counselor. So at the time, I was going through a situationship problem. So I was in a situationship. Red flag already. So I contacted the counselor for a session. I was like, I was so down at that point. I was like, I try everything, let me try a counselor, So I went to the school counselor. It was during COVID time. Everything was online, session online, everything. You didn't even have to put a camera. It was via Zoom. So I contacted the counselor for a session, and I did not enjoy the experience. I thought a counseling session was supposed to be somebody sympathizing with the way that you feel and giving you advice, but apparently it's not so. Like, I'm not accustomed to therapy and counseling, so I really don't know how it's supposed to be, but it wasn't pleasant. I spoke to the lady, and I told her my situationship with the guy, and let me just tell all you, in the end of me being in that situationship, the gag was he was playing me and like 5 other females at the same time. So from the moment you feel like if a guy is doing things to confuse you and you don't understand what's going on in the relationship, and you don't understand your position in this man's life, is because he's playing with you, right? So I found out that in the end, and at the time I had a lot of feelings for the person, and I tried to explain to the counselor, how I was feeling and what happened. And her approach was making self solve the problems for self. Meaning, like, she wasn't giving me advice or telling me what to do, but rather she was asking me what I think I should do. So I told her I think I should tell the person how I feel. I don't know. And it's like I felt as though the session was basically me making up my own mind to do my own thing, which is why I custom doing. And what's the point of me coming to counseling if it is I'm just going to do what I'm accustomed doing, or you're just gonna push me to do what I'm accustomed doing, rather than trying to give me some healthy tips and tell me I'm in a situationship. I don't know. I just felt like if that was so traumatic to the point where I didn't bother to go counseling again. I didn't even book this. I booked the second session, but I didn't turn up. I didn't attend because I just felt like, what is this? And it made me feel worse, like, because I really was vulnerable and came to the counselor for help and assistance to give you an insight into my life. Doesn't discourage anybody who wants to start counseling, because I'm still going to do it anyway, and I will definitely share my experience with you when I do counseling, because I really want to get to the source of all, like, of who I am now. Like, what are the things that really contributes to my actions now, especially the negative things about me, right? So that's all I really have to say. Journaling, counseling. It's always good to have some friends that you could vent to, but reality is not everyone has friends who they can trust or who they can vent to, who they feel comfortable venting to. So again, that's why I stress on the journaling. Most importantly, your relationship with God, because I believe that only God could really help us in these situations, could guide us through, right? And that's all I really have to say, and just being real with yourself and allowing yourself to feel pain and being patient with yourself throughout whatever issue or scenario you might be facing. So I hope that you all enjoyed this video, and I will be sure to share more things like this on my YouTube. I will be sure to share more things like this on my YouTube channel, because I don't want to come off as unauthentic or as if I'm just gaslighting life when in real life, real people face real problems. And if nobody else gonna do it, I will. Even though I may not get into personal details, at least I'm going to acknowledge that tough things happen to people sometimes.